Buenas noches, Ken. Gracias por estar en el canal. Bienvenido. Es un honor. Bueno, vamos a hablar de todo un poco su trabajo. Siempre le han preguntado sobre temas de Stockmans. Esta vez hay que hablarle sobre temas de roles que ha tenido. Su primer rol, aparición, es en Brotherhood Love. Quisiera preguntarte cómo fue tu debut en todas estas cintas.
Okay, Ken, welcome to the channel. As always, John does, we always talk about the beginnings, and we know that mostly people interview you about your work as an stunt coordinator and stunt double, but no, we are going to talk about Brotherly Love, man. Tell us more about your fear or one of your first works as an actor.
Brotherly Love. You're going to have to refresh my memory on that one. Brotherly Love, as I recall it, was many years ago. Is it one of your movie that you're interested in? One that you're particularly interested in, Brotherly Love?
Yes, because John always do that. Ask about the first words of the people here. But I will ask John, ¿por qué estás interesado en preguntar por Brotherly Love?
Porque tuvo una aparición que fue el rol de Charlie, si no estoy mal. Entonces yo dije, ala, nunca le han preguntado sobre este rol. Le han preguntado sobre varios, pero este me parece como muy curioso, ¿no?
Not many people had asked you about this particular role. So anything you can tell us or about the beginnings of your career as an actor, go ahead, man.
Well, I'm trying to remember Brotherly Love. Who? Tell me again who starred in Brotherly Love, because I've worked on a lot of movies and television shows, being a stuntman where you're in and you're out in a day or two. So and I've worked on hundreds and hundreds of projects.
Yes.
So Brotherly Love. Who starred in Brotherly Love again?
John, ¿quién protagonizó Brotherly Love?
Brotherly Love lo protagonizó Jude Hirsch.
It's with Jude Hirsch, man.
Oh, Judge Hirsch. Okay. So now that refreshes my memory where that was one of my first acting jobs. I remember I wasn't even expecting to say anything. They just I showed up at work one day and they said, here are your sides, here are your lines. And I said, I've got lines? And you just got a couple lines with your boss. And it was 2 lines, I think. But I remember being very nervous about it because I wasn't prepared for it. And but it was small enough that I could handle it. But that was one of the first times, because of my size, I got a lot of big bad guy, jobs, and henchman #1 and thug #2, and eventually, bigger roles and stuff. So wow, that brings back a lot of memories. So thanks for bringing it up.
No, man, that's the reason why for this channel I will translate faster. John, fue un día de trabajo. Si recuerda, él recibió unas órdenes muy específicas de dis tu líneas y vete, pero también es por una cuestión de, tú sabes muy bien que él siempre le da trabajos de hombres muy rudos, muy altos por el tamaño. Él es un actor, tú sabes, de una gran estatura y todo, y que esto fue evolucionando porque tú sabes que tiene más de 100 proyectos a papeles mucho más grandes que creo que son los que se vienen.
Sí, papeles mucho más grandes, pero antes de continuar, le doy paso a César para que pueda hablar sobre un trabajo súper chévere. Otro rol que es bastante interesante que él hizo y que él jamás, obviamente, me di cuenta, sino hasta hace poco, es Leyendas de una Pasión. ¡Wow! Eso es increíble. Preguntarle por este proyecto, qué opina sobre algunas escenas también de su gran actuación.
It's crazy because you told us that, you had worked in a lot of projects. Constantly they were like evolving, but it's crazy because you appear in one of the great movie. I really love it. That is Legends of the Fall, man. So tell us, how was not only participating in this, I always say, underrated movie of the 90s, but like going from small to big productions. We had to know, man, because for us it's a really great movie, man.
Yeah, Legends of the Fall it seemed people fell more in love with it as time went by. And I'll get phone calls from friends and who was in it. And I just saw you get shot at the end of Legends of the Fall. You didn't tell me you worked on that. And they really do love that movie. And it was a great production to work on. I remember walking into the makeup trailer, and I think the only person I hadn't worked with on the of the main characters, I think, was Anthony Hopkins, because I'd worked with Brad Pitt and Aidan Quinn and Tantu Cardinal and so when I walked in, they all knew me, and so Anthony Hopkins turned around and he goes, "Well," he goes, "I must meet you. I suppose I must meet you as well. My name's Tony." And that was a fantastic feeling for me. Like I had kind of made it, where the the big actors know my name and are introducing me. So it was a great experience for that. It was the second time I had worked with Brad Pitt. I'd done a little thing. He had done a pilot for a TV series before he was really famous. And so we'd worked together briefly on that. And it was such, Calgary, Alberta. And the movie came out so well. And, I think everybody remembers that if you mention that movie, whether they liked it or not, most people do, but they know it.
I love that this movie is getting a cult following, and John will love this, so I will translate. Pues John, acá hay una anécdota buenísima. Obviamente tú sabes que él le dispara al final de la película, sí, una de las escenas más importantes, que mucha gente lo estaba llamando porque esta película ha ganado como una especie de culto. Entonces como que, ¿qué? No sabíamos que tú habías salido ahí. John, acá hay un dato buenísimo. Tú sabes que hay 4 protagonistas, ¿no? Brad Pitt, Aidan Quinn. Resulta que él había trabajado con todos, incluso con Brad Pitt en un piloto que hizo en televisión. Averíguate cualquier cosa si es el piloto que hizo con nuestro amigo Tom Holland, pero que el único actor que no lo conocía era Anthony Hopkins. Así que fue muy gracioso porque todos esos grandes actores ya conocían a Ken y lo saludaron así de mano, pero fue, que todo lo que te imagines, fue un rodaje increíble.
Intentaré buscar ese dato. Gracias, Andrés. Thank you, Ken. Ahora sí, César.
Bueno, decía que yo hace poco me vi la película de Bad Moon sin saber que íbamos a entrar a Ken. Filmografía de Ken, vi que le hace del hombre lobo que sale en la película. Entonces quiero que nos cuente cómo se fue para interpretar al hombre lobo.
Y que es uno de tus géneros favoritos, ¿no?
Sí.
Okay. Claro. Caesar is from Mexico. One of his favorite subgenres is the wolf exploitation movies. He was watching Bad Moon and he was like, wow, I watched it and now we are going to talk about with Ken. Big coincidence. So tell us more about doing this, because you are the wolf man. You are the wolf in the movie, man. So tell us.
I didn't really know what I was getting myself into wearing that werewolf suit. They approached me, to coordinate the movie. Wendy Williams and we'd worked together before, and do you want to play the werewolf and be the stunt coordinator? And I said, sure, yeah. Not realizing at all what goes into wearing that werewolf suit. It's specially built. They take a mold of your body. They build the werewolf suit on top of that mold, and then they made it 2 sizes too small. And they also had to make it out of a harder foam. It wasn't foam at all. It was like a harder rubber skin, because I was going to be fighting real attack dogs with this suit. And if it wasn't strong enough, the dogs would tear it apart. So it was modeled with me in a hunch. So all day long, that suit, which weighed, I think, 65, 70 pounds, with the battery packs and that move the mouth and all that sort of stuff. And it pulls you over into a hunch, and you're looking at a hole this big out the mouth of the werewolf, which has a black screen behind it. And then they also had saliva tubes that came so the dog would drool and snap its mouth. Well, every time it snapped its mouth, I couldn't see, and the dogs were attacking me, and so it was a really tough job to wear that werewolf suit. But it was funny. I was just going through the internet, zooming through YouTube, and I caught a clip of it on there, and yeah, it was fun. It's fun to see, all these years later, and it's, I guess, people consider it one of the top werewolves. Like the design of the werewolf was one of the top 5 or something that people's choices and stuff. And so it was a fun one to have worked on. It was very hard work wearing that suit for as much as I did during that movie, and and then also being the stunt coordinator on it. So it was a lot of work. I'm glad we did it, and I think it turned out. I particularly like the scene in the opening where the werewolf slashes through the tent, which were real razor blade claws, that they had built a glove with real razor blade claws, so I could slash through the tent, and then the kill with dragging the girl out of the tent and biting her and swatting her down. I thought that all turned out really well. I was pretty happy with that. People seem to like that opening. Yeah.
I will ask Cesar, because he's a really an expert of werewolf movies, what is the thinking, if one of the best or not, and two, if you can share us that video, it will be great, the video de behind the scenes. But I will ask Cesar. Cesar, ¿a ti cómo te pareció la película? Porque te tengo un dato que, pues, como amante del cine de lobos, te va a fascinar.
A ver.
Da mucho miedo porque obviamente el traje quedó muy, pues, de pelos, o sea, el traje es real. Es que resulta la escena de los perros fue real, o sea, hay unos perros que se la balanzan y tuvieron que hacer un traje, pues, de un material, de un cuero súper fuerte, porque si no, pues lo dejarían vuelto madres a Ken. Las garras son reales, la baba es real. Dice que cada vez que el animatrónico cerraba la boca, pues él no podía ver. Dicen que hay un video, yo le dije a Ken que no lo pase, de ese detrás de cámaras. Creo que está en un top de como que 5 mejores trajes de hombres lobo. Y no sé qué te pareció la película, tú como experto del género, porque fue un trabajo durísimo.
A mí me encantó. Sí, está dentro de las mejores, yo diría.
I see a picture of the werewolf behind Caesar.
No, Caesar loves werewolf movies, and he told us, like, yes, this movie deserves to be on the top of the best werewolf movies, man. He has watched, I think, everyone, the Howling movies and all that movies, so, man, no, all the hard work pay off. And man, that the things that you tell us with the dogs sounds really scary, man. I think it's frightening. But we got more questions, chicos. Sure. Excelente pregunta, César. Dale.
Bueno, yo quiero retomar un poco su trabajo como coordinador de doblez. Tengo curiosidad en saber si hay alguna diferencia en coordinar doblez para una película de acción y hacerlo en una película de terror.
Now, with the part of your career as a stunt coordinator, many movies, man, you are one of the best of the business. But what is the difference between coordinating stunts from terror and coordinating stunts from action?
Well, it's all action. You just so you're using the same techniques in both. You just have to work around sometimes a costume or makeup or different situations, but essentially it's the same job. Somebody needs to go flying through the air, it look like they've been hit and they go flying through the air, or hit by a car, or they're on fire. I mean, it's all action. Sometimes I'll say that the directors, when you work with horror directors, it's often a different experience than when you're working with action directors. Horror directors they're a little bit more in their heads. They're still, they're picturing things in their mind more. Then they've got a lot more things to take, to think about, right? Because the look and the detail of a good horror movie is so important. Whereas big flashy stunts of cars flying through the air, it's not the same sort of animal. So that's what I'd say that would be the difference between the two for me.
César, dice que en ambos se basa obviamente en la acción, pero hay una gran diferencia. En los directores de horror, tú sabes que los directores de horror tienen, digamos que la película, van construyendo la historia porque ellos tienen que tener una visión muy clara de lo que es el horror. Entonces dice que digamos que como que ellos son más meditativos, por así decirlo. Cambio en acción sí es al grano, o sea, en acción es como que van a volar 100 carros en el aire, entonces bueno, él ya sabe que tiene que estar listo para la acción, pero que los directores de horror digamos que son más, podemos decir, hacen más cine autor. Entonces él tiene que estar atento a si hay cambios, a que todo, digamos como con la película del lobo, ¿no? Que pues eso fue increíble saber que eran perros de verdad y todo, o sea.
Es increíble.
Esa es la diferencia.
Thank
¿Qué
you so much.
pregunta? Bueno, vamos a complementar, César. Está, obviamente, Freddy versus Jason. Es algo increíble, interesante. Es que yo te quiero preguntar. Yo sé que te han, pues, obviamente mencionado escenas favoritas, escenas increíbles, pero no te han preguntado si vuelves a retomar el papel de Jason para un tema del remake con un personaje del terror actual, ¿cuál sería?
Y no sé si
Un
sería bueno
versus.
decirle, y no sé si sería bueno decirle que acá estuvieron otros dos de la familia,
Claro,
¿sabes? Okay. Luckily, this channel started with one of the franchise that we're going to talk about. We started with Ori Ledman, the amazing CJ Graham, and now you, man. We know that a lot of people ask you about favorite scenes of Freddy versus Jason, but man, if somehow you retake that role and what is the another horror character you wanna face off against who?
Oh, so if we were going to go Jason versus somebody else, you know, Michael Myers feels kind of natural to me. And I actually thought that when they cast a much bigger Michael Myers, a Michael Myers that was bigger than my Jason, I thought maybe they were going to try and pit us together then. You know, that there was something maybe in the works there. So they seem so simpler or so similar, the characters. And there's, it begs for, is there some sort of relationship there? So I think there's a lot of places you could go with Jason and Michael Myers.
wow.
Just because I don't know, no? Rumor has it they are immortal. Rumor has it.
Yeah.
But I will trust. I don't think I need to translate, but I will try because they understand. Chicos, creo que ya entendieron, pero
Sí.
hay un factor de por qué Michael Myers. Es porque si se dan cuenta, en la saga de Freddy vs. Jason, con Ken tomaron un riesgo porque es un Jason altísimo. Se dan cuenta que es uno de los más altos. Y si se dan cuenta, tomaron después el riesgo de hacer un Michael Myers casi incluso más alto que Jason. Entonces, por eso dicen que hay rumores de que se enfrenten. Solo diré eso.
Es
¿Se
increíble.
imaginan?
Sí. Antes de decir mi última pregunta, César tiene una última. ¿Cuál es?
Mi última pregunta es, ¿qué consejo nos puede dar para sobrevivir a Jason?
What advice do you give us so we can survive to you? No, so we can survive to Jason. Man.
Well, stay away from Crystal Lake. He likes to hang around there. I think if you're away from Crystal Lake, you might be safe.
Don't go with your partner, your girlfriend to Crystal Lake. Don't be stupid. Wow. Chicos, no vayan a Crystal Lake.
Ok.
Está muy bueno. Bueno, mis dos últimas es, primero, de las escenas increíbles que has hecho como Stoneman en el terror, ¿cuál ha sido la que más te ha impresionado? Yo sé que está eso, la del 80, esta frecuencia mortal, está varias, pero bueno, ¿cuál es la más impactante y cómo define el trabajo de él en una palabra?
Okay, the two final questions. Man, we know that you got an amazing resume doing stunts, but you got like a favorite stunt?
We did when we did 13th Warrior. There's two, I think. 13th Warrior was one where I was working on this big epic, Viking movie, and I was doubling the lead Viking, and it was a hard movie to work. We were working 6 days a week, and 14, 18 hours sometimes. And it was just a really hard show to do. But I just remember there was one sequence where all the Wendells, the bad guys, are charging in on the village. And I'm the lead Viking, taking them, as they come kind of thing, doubling Vladimir Kulich. And just thinking, this is why I got into this business. I fucking love this. I had a big sword. I'm dressed like a Viking, and I'm swinging around at guys on horseback, and I'm playing the hero. And that was a really great day, on that movie. And we had a lot of great days on that movie. But it was, I think we had to finish the movie to realize how much fun it was to do, because it was just so much work. You just focused on the work and work and work. Well. And then there was another one where a movie called Hideaway, where I doubled Jeff Goldblum, and it's a supernatural movie, but it's a car stunt where he and his family are coming down a mountain at night, and in a Mustang car. And there's a gravel truck coming up the road the other way, and they come around the corner, and the gravel truck has come into their lane, and so he has to glance off the front of the gravel truck. The car spins around 360 degrees, goes back off the road and down a hill into running a river, and sinks. And it's a big sequence at the beginning, and it was broken up into several pieces. But I remember we got the car stunt portion of it where I had to clip the gravel truck at 50 miles an hour. And if you go too deep, you're going to be in a big wreck. It's just going to be a really sudden stop, and you're going to get hurt. Or if you go too shallow, you could wreck the shot. So I nailed it the first time, and I felt really, really good about that. And then the rest of the sequence turned out very well as well. And so it's one that sticks in my mind. And so those are two fond memories, of many.
And before I ask the final question that John made, another two hidden gems, man, like with the old stuff, man, no CGI, the real team. My friends will love that. Chicos, mencionó dos joyas de culto. La primera, Los 13 Guerreros, ustedes saben, esa joya de cine no,
Sí,
exacto,
sí.
pero él hizo el personaje de Vladimir Kulich. Pues la escena de la batalla final contra los Guerreros del Viento, ustedes saben que él dice cuando la grabó, hizo, para esto yo estoy en este trabajo. Saben que es una batalla, una escena
Maravillosa.
durísima. Pero hay otra película, no sé si la hayan visto, Hideaway con Jeff Goldblum. Hay una escena de esa película donde es que la Stone quedó perfecta, una toma donde iba él en el carro y tenía que chocar contra un camión más grande, y obviamente el carro para chocar tenía que dar una vuelta de 360 grados y caer al lago. La cuestión es que si obviamente lo hacía muy rápido, pues podía morir, y si lo hacía muy lento, o sea, si no lo tocaba donde era, pues la toma quedaba mal. La toma quedó perfecta. Y miren que son dos cintas, al igual que Leyendas de la Pasión, muy de culto. O sea, y ya le hago la última pregunta, John. And finally, try to define your career in one word.
Lucky. Yeah. I had an old coach that used to say that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And but you still, I don't think there's anybody who's been as lucky as I. Can't say that there was an element of luck of being in the right place at the right time to get Jason and Freddy versus Jason, and to have worked on number 8 way back in the day as the stunt coordinator and the stunt double, which probably helped me, get Freddy versus Jason. But I feel lucky. I feel lucky to have done what I've done, and feel lucky that I've met so many great people over the years, and that it's all gonna, it's a business that I grew up loving, and that's why I wanted to get into it, and to be a piece of it, to be a piece of this big machine that turns out memories. It makes me feel good.
And with every Jason, it comes the conventions, the fans. So you are now immortal. And I will translate. Pues chicos, dice que afortunado. Y aquí hay un dato buenísimo. Fue gracias a las stunts que hizo en la película 8, que llevaron a que lo contrataran para hacer Freddy vs. Jason. Dice que afortunado, obviamente dice que la fortuna es como una fusión de oportunidad y trabajo duro. Sabe muy bien que es un trabajo de muchos años, pero que él dice que jamás se imaginó pues ser Jason. Y yo le dije que obviamente al ser Jason pues vienen las convenciones y todo. Entonces, afortunado, y afortunados nosotros,
Por supuesto, afortunado. No, vamos
Claro
a darle un
que
fuerte
sí.
aplauso. ¡Bravo!
Bravo.
Jason, no,
Bravo.
perdón. Ken.
¿Qué?
Hombre, vamos a
La
tomar
foto.
la foto y bueno, redes sociales, que sigan el trabajo, todo. Ken, la verdad, gracias por esta oportunidad. Ha sido un honor. Bienvenido siempre al canal y que se dé lo de Michael Myers más adelante. Y
O-
men,
o-
que Jason
tú
venga a
sabes.
Colombia.
O tú sabes, David lo dijo, que él quería enfrentarse contra cualquiera. Se imagina Art the Clown
Coméntale.
versus. Okay, in fact, John was telling that, yeah, hopefully some convention brings you here to Colombia. Hopefully the Michael Myers and Jason thing happens, but also we in the channel got the amazing David Howard Thornton, you know, Art the Clown for Terrifier. He said that he will be ready, and not only him. I think that Craig, John, ¿cómo se llama el Winnie Pooh? Craig
David Dawson.
David Dawson with the Winnie Pooh say that they will be ready to face any icon. So man, be ready to slash Michael Myers, Art the Clown, and Winnie the Pooh. Man, be ready.
Okay. Very nice meeting you guys. And I wish you all the luck with the new show.
Thank you, John, que nos desea la suerte
Oh,
con el
thank
nuevo
you so
show.
much. God bless you, man. Y
Gracias.
Greg Whitman, you are the best.
Thank
You're the
you.
best, man.
Thank you so
No,
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
Eso
bye.
yo me-
Good night, man.
Good luck.
Bye bye.
Bye.